Local news, local views, and all the best music on your local station, West Craven Community Radio.
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
So, just minutes away from their much anticipated show here at 53 degrees in Preston, it's a big hello to the wonderful public service broadcasting. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. Could you firstly please just introduce yourselves and explain your function in the band?
I am Jay Wilgus Esquire, and my function in the band is to play guitars, banjo and fiddle around with electronic business.
Excellent.
I am Wrigglesworth II, and I generally hit things, hopefully
Things,
in
not
the right
people.
order
Things.
and the right place.
Would you like to clarify why Wrigglesworth II?
Wrigglesworth I decided to leave.
This isn't a Spinal Tap thing where all the drummers...
He didn't spontaneously combust on stage.
Thank goodness for that. Moving onwards quickly, our good friends at Wikipedia tell us that public service broadcasting take samples from old public information films, archive footage and propaganda material, attempting to teach the lessons of the past through the music of the future. Is that fairly accurate?
That's absolutely 100% accurate.
That's quite a big statement, though.
Well, we're only interested in making big statements.
Yeah, but there's a lot of weight on your shoulders there, guys. I'm sure you can cope with it. But...
Well, Wrigglesworth struggles a bit, but I have to help him out occasionally.
You're pulling through.
The birds fly a lot better than we do. See how they wheel and bank and fly? Perfect. And all in one. Wings, body, tail, all in one. Someday, I'm going to build a plane that will be just like a bird.
And musically, electronic, krautrock, how would you describe it?
I think that there's definitely a krautrock influence there for a few tracks, but I'd say there's a wide variety of influence, and hopefully the songs, they are quite disparate in terms of influence. I think guitars are normally fairly heavily in there one way or another.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say electronic, but with quite a lot of guitar, banjo. Okay. Electronic with live instruments as well. Tell people who look confused.
Well, I'd say it's almost impossible to categorise you guys, because I think what you're doing right now is totally unique. But I'm wondering, as PSB is by nature an extremely visual project, how are you able to express this in a live show situation?
Well, we do. We show the visuals as we play, and they're kind of edited so that they're in time with the music, and hopefully that kind of reinforces the effect. We normally try and play with like a projector, and we've got an old TV as well, and we just find that sort of adds to the character, and in a way, in fact, the sort of footage is almost the front man and takes a lot of the attention of the audience, and
yes.
we just kind of get on with.
This must take an awful lot of time to set up and everything, though.
Oh, really? yeah, quite a long time.
But you are often described as geeks, so it's not an issue with you.
Yeah, I heard Ed Byrne was on the radio the other day calling us a pair of total nerds, in a good way, but it's okay to be a geek.
No, he's one to talk.
If war should come, we shall not call a halt until the oppressor is beaten.
Something you can witness Mr. J playing live, and I must admit I'd never heard of this before, is a banjolele. What's the story behind that particular instrument, Jay?
Well, now this is an important point, because actually what you see me playing live generally is a banjo.
Okay.
There's no lady about it. It's The banjolele is a smaller instrument. It's kind of what George Formby used to play. The smaller one, it's strung like a ukulele, hence the lady part of it.
Okay.
But with the head of a banjo. And I do have a banjolele, and that was passed down to me from my uncle, from his uncle, who died in the Second World War.
Wow.
So when I opened up that case for the first time, I saw his name written on the inside and his address and everything. It was a bit of a, yeah.
Emotional, must have been.
Well, it was quite emotional actually, because I was about the same age as him when I received this instrument as he was when he died at Dunkirk. So it did make a big impression on me.
Yes.
And then later, a few years down the line, we ended up doing the War Room, and it just seemed appropriate to kind of bring it in on that as well, and dedicate it to him.
Wow. And you use that just for recording purposes then, not actually...
I have played it live occasionally, but I'm slightly loath to...
I can understand that.
I mean, it's not much of an instrument. It's quite, in terms of technical
personal,
quality,
isn't it?
The sentimental value.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Watch closely now. You may want to mystify your friend.
It is a new thing. Oh, it sounds neat.
No compromise. No shortcuts.
It's the best.
This is public service broadcasting. Stay informed, educated, and entertained with Ian Tunnacliffe on West Craven Community Radio.
Public Service Broadcasting's EP1 was released back in 2010. Was it really that long ago? And last year's follow-up War Room EP was rightly met with huge critical acclaim.
Such huge criticism.
No!
What is this?
Oh, huge critical acclaim, of course. Even more excitingly, though, I understand that their first album is now imminent. Do we have a title and a release date, fellas?
We do. We've taken the Lord Reith mantra to heart, and we've called it Inform, Educate, Entertain. And that's what we aim to do, with the emphasis heavily on entertain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's out on May the 6th on our very own record label.
Okay.
Test Card Recordings.
Obviously, I strongly urge all our listeners to run out and buy the album. I've been told I have to say that. It sounds old-fashioned. Buy the album. Download is...
I'd recommend buying it.
You recommend? Yeah, of course you would. But as well as being contactable via all the usual social media options, is there a website for all your PSB requirements?
Publicservicebroadcasting.net.
That's the one? .net, not .com. Okay.
No, couldn't get that one. Too expensive.
Okay. Seriously, did you have to pay an extra lot more
I
for
think
it?
somebody's registered it already, so you'd have to pay.
Okay.
You'd have to, yeah.
Buy
People just register them in the hope that one day someone will need them and want to pay a fortune for them.
Oh, okay.
Once there was a mountain called Peak 15. Nothing was known about it. But in 1852, the surveyors found it was the highest in the world, and they named it Everest. When men were first drawn to Everest, it was an unknown quantity. Something entirely beyond them.
And live shows, there are still a handful of dates left on the current Signal 30 tour, ahead of a mini tour of the Scottish Highlands, before a full Inform, Educate, Entertain UK tour in May, which includes, for our local listeners, shows in Leeds, Manchester and Liverpool, be there or be square. Just finally, we wanted to know just how well you know your public service broadcasting.
I'm very confident about this.
I'm sure you are. But with Wrigglesworth...
I'm the opposite end of that confidence.
Wouldn't it be funny if Rig got all three right and Jay didn't know any of the answers? Keep my fingers crossed. So please prepare yourselves for probably the world's first ever and last public service broadcasting quiz. 3 questions. Question 1. The forerunner of public service broadcasting in the UK is, of course, the BBC. In which decade was the BBC established?
Yes.
That is not the correct answer.
I am going to say... I'm going to say 1920s.
Do you concur?
I was actually thinking the 1920s. That is
The 20s and 30s.
I'm going to say.
I'd go 30s if you want to cover the bases.
No, I would be inclined to stick with your original answer. Because it is correct. Well done. 1 out of 3.
London raises her head, shakes the debris of the night from her hair, and takes stock of the damage done. The sign of a great fighter in the ring is, can he get up from the floor after being knocked down? London does this every morning. Jerry's a little bit late tonight.
Question 2. We know then that the BBC is the forerunner of public service broadcasting in the UK,
Absolutely.
but which country's public service broadcaster is the ABC?
Australia.
Congratulations, hey, they're good, aren't they? 2 out of 2.
I was going to say America.
Now, if you get this last one correct, 3 out of 3, I'll be extremely impressed. I would suggest this is your hardest question of all. Allowing £5 either way, what is the current cost of a colour television licence? You got £5 either way on your answer.
£143.
I reckon, Rick, you should just go up a little bit from that.
I thought it was 144, but that was a few years ago, so it might be kind of 148.
Pretty much spot on. You got £5 either way on your answer. Would you believe it's £149.50?
Ooh. Well,
Wow.
well done, Wigglesworth.
Well done, Rick.
Bailed me out there.
What a guy.
Yeah.
I have to say, I salute your knowledge and your music, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck on the rest of the tour, and may inform, educate and entertain bring the success that you richly deserve.
Thank you, Mr. Ian.
Thank you very much indeed, guys.
You drive carefully tonight, will you?
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, that was great. Sensational. Terrific. What is it?
The voice of West Craven, your local station, live on westcravenradio.com. This is West Craven Community Radio.